Hello YouTubers, Troz here, back with more Satisfactory, and I'm here on what should be the last production floor of our nuclear power factory. I just put this together. It is quite massive. Do we have... well, let's land before we run out of fuel. Okay, that's not where I meant to land, but let's... see if we can't make it over here. Okay, we can't make it over here. Anyway, it is 48 manufacturers, and these are going to be producing the nuclear fuel rods. They'll be using the uranium cells that we'll be producing on this floor once we bring uranium in. And apparently we have a bit of saving lag here. Oh, there we go. But if you look in the upper right hand corner, we don't actually have the alternate nuclear fuel rod recipe yet. We're gonna need 100 more uranium for that. So that means heading back into the cave and bringing some back to the hub, which is way over there, like we did last time. But yeah, we have everything we need, or will have everything we need coming up here. Obviously, I don't have anything at the moment, and we'll be lacking the fuel cells. But the fuel cells will be coming up on this Mark IV belt. We'll have items coming up here on this Mark II belt, and 2 other items coming up on a Mark I belt. Everything gets split 2 ways, because we have 4 rows of 12 manufacturers, because that's basically all that fits up here. And then all of them will be outputting, and it will be coming around here. We're only going to be making 28 fuel rods a minute, but I'm using a Mark V belt because they're going to be radioactive, and we want to get them moving as quickly as possible. They'll be exiting here and going up to what should be the actual power production floors, which will be right up on top of here. So let's quickly review what we're doing. We have all of this done now. What I've just shown you is this. We really only need like 47, but hey, 48 is a nice even number, so that's why I built 48. We'll have 467 uranium fuel cells a minute coming in, 28 crystal oscillators, 93 magnetic control rods, which are just 2 floors down, not counting the empty buffer floor, and 56 beacons per minute. Yeah, we'll need to go into the cave, but as you can see now, here's our production. Here's the cave outlined in yellow. Here's where we're mining the uranium, and this interactive map gives you an estimate of the radioactive area. And yeah, this storage container is full, and the miner is full, and the train station is full. And so yeah, we got a nice large radioactive area. Now hopefully the path here, I'm hoping the blue is like your meter will go up, but you won't take damage. And so the path that we have for our trucks, not that we're really using it, but it should still be passable with minimal and hopefully no damage. But that is why, like, I have that buffer here, and all the radioactive stuff is going to be on the top floors, because this is, from what I understand, roughly 3-dimensional. As far as it goes out, it also goes up and down. So yeah, the floor, the ground here, and the first few floors should be fine for living, working. But the upper area is going to be pretty radioactive. So, let's get those 100 uranium that we need. Yeah, this is all set up. It's all powered. There's the power. Yeah, so all we need is to actually set the recipe to build and, well, turn it on. But I don't want to turn it on until we actually have all the nuclear power plants in place to actually use the fuel cells, because if they back up, they're gonna create a nice bit of radiation that we'll have to deal with. So I'm gonna just take a buggy. Seemed like that was the best course of action last time. Let's make sure I do have my hazmat suit, and we have 30 filters, so that should be plenty. We have the train still sitting here. I probably should have pointed out on the map, but yeah, I did remove one piece of track because I don't actually want the train running, and the piece of track also supplies power. So the miner and the train station down here are now also not powered at the moment. Not that that really makes a difference, because in the time they were powered, you saw we filled up everything. And in fact, yeah, it looks like we can... Alright, you see the meter is going up, but we're not actually taking damage. That might be because we're in the car. Okay, we do take damage slowly. That's fine. We're gonna now put this on, and that should... There we go. Oh, and that also reduces the radiation effect. Yeah, this is highly, highly, highly radioactive here. Let's just take one. That's gonna be even worse for us, but we just need to run over to the car here. Put it in the trunk, and we should be fine now. Still not gonna take off the suit. I'm just gonna drive back to the hub. Okay, we are back at the hub. We are now gonna pick this up and submit it. Okay. That's it for the alternate fuel rods. Let's drive back and get everything set up. Okay, we have all of these machines set up. These machines take 300 seconds, and they'll produce 3 nuclear fuel rods, averaging, one every 100 seconds, or 0.6 per minute. They take 50 uranium cells, 110 electromagnetic control rods, 3 oscillators, and 6 beacons, which works out to be 10 uranium cells per minute, 2 control rods per minute, 0.6 oscillators per minute, and 1.2 beacons per minute. We have everything except the uranium cells, so let's hook it all up, because these low per minute items are going to take a while to back up. And these are still all connected up through the overflow or manifold method. Although I am splitting half to each side, but that doesn't really change the fact that it's going to take a while for everything to back up. Now, hearing trains. Let's just... Okay, that is the uranium train in the cave. All the other trains do look like they are operating fine. Occasionally, when I log in, one gets stuck somewhere and I have to fix it. But that doesn't appear to be the case at the moment. So the first 2 items are here. They only need tier 1 belts. And let's land here. And in fact, it's 1 more floor down, I think. Yes. So here's where we're making the beacons down there. The beacons themselves use some of the crystal oscillators, but just 11 per minute, so we have the rest coming out here, along with the beacons. So let us build those up. Should be able to do it from here. Let's do you guys first, because... Oh, and isn't that perfect? It just reaches. Can't afford. Well, we'll just have to go get some more plates. I have plenty of everything else, I think, but apparently ran out of plates. Well, I won't say they're using everything, but they're using a lot of things. Alright, let's drop down here. I don't think I have any loose plates. The only other place would be here next to me. No, those are the reinforced plates for the Mark II belts. Oh, okay, look at that. Here's some. I won't have to make any. That's great. Now we just need to get back up. override this. There we go. Give me a nice speed boost. Alright, that should be all the crystal oscillators and the beacons. Next would be right here, and you need the Mark II belts. You're the electromagnetic control rods. And then let's go up a bit more. And I'm just going to use a Mark V belt, not belt, lift. This will be the uranium cells once we're making them. So here you can see everything is getting split. These two are split on the corners. This gets split here and goes left and right. And then these, once they're made, will get split here. I'm using a Mark V belt, but a Mark IV, or I'm using a Mark V lift, I should say. This, yeah, it's only 466, so the 480 belt here will be fine. And in fact, once it gets split, then it's obviously half each way, and these will fill in. Now, obviously, this will get filled in. That's kind of funny that that's not lighting up even though it says 6. Oh, have we not gotten any here? Well, here comes one. Okay. I guess those just took a while. They are on a slow belt, so that could explain it. But yeah, we gotta, well, we don't have to wait for all these to fill in, but yeah, that's what's gonna happen, because I'm not turning this part on until we have everything done. So what's left? Not much, except the most important thing. Not that button, we need this button. We need to make nuclear power plants. Well, we need 140 of these, because that's how many we can fill, because they each, when they're being used at their maximum, the fuel lasts for 5 minutes. We're making 28. 28 times 5 works out to be 140. I'm actually going to make 144 of these. The reason being that that is an even number, basically. It's 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. Because unlike everything I've done here, where we're just doing the overflow method, I want to split the belts evenly to the nuclear power plants, so that the 28 per minute that we are making is distributed evenly to every nuclear power plant. Not that, like, the first power plant fills up before the second power plant even gets any fuel. That would not be good because, you know, well, we wouldn't be producing power efficiently then. So I've worked out a kind of floor plan that will break everything up. Like I'll have some. I'll have a splitter that splits things in two, and then each of those belts will be split in two. Then each of those belts will be split in two. Then each of those belts will be split in two, and then we'll have a three-way splitter and a three-way splitter right at the end. So after all the two splitting, well, we'll have two splits, and then we'll basically I have a setup that will feed 18 power plants off of one belt. Again with the 2x3x3 at the end, and so we're gonna need 8 of those, and I think I'm gonna make 2 floors. So one floor will have basically 72 reactors, and then another floor above that will have another 72. But first, we're gonna have to cover this all in, and put a floor. I'm not sure. I don't think the 72 reactors are going to fit in the area we have. I am going to have to overhang this way, but that was kind of always my plan. Also, part of the plan is to collect all the nuclear waste and kind of run it down to a truck station and make a platform, kind of circle loop for a truck to drive around and pick up stuff from that truck station, and then I can just delete some panels and the truck can fall into the abyss, getting rid of the nuclear waste. Not that it really gets rid of it, it kind of will always be down in that pit down there, but it will be out of harm's way, let's say. It won't be bothering us. Alright, so I'm gonna take a cut here and build up the walls, build up another floor, and lay out the first floor of nuclear power plants. So, looks like I'm gonna need a lot of materials, so I'm probably gonna make a few runs back to our factory, maybe even over to our second factory, because that's a lot of heavy modular frames and cables and high-speed connectors and stuff. So I'll see you in a bit with hopefully the initial layout of our power plants done. Well, that was sure a lot of work. Here we are. We have 36 of the nuclear power plants in place, which is only 1/4 of the amount we need. Yeah. And as you can see, our factory was that wide, and then we extended it out here, and there's the train station kind of beyond it. But this is crossing that whole gap. It is actually resting on the other side. In fact, let's see if I can zoom in far enough. Yeah, this last power plant here is actually partially in the rock there. It did let me build it. I didn't have to do anything, but it does partially go in the rock way on the other side. So, yeah, I was hoping that I could fit half of the power plants on one floor and then have a second floor with the other half. I'm still gonna try to do that, but this is a 1/4, so I'm gonna have to build another 1/4 out over this way. Yeah, that's our initial factory way over there. I'm standing kind of, here's the conveyor belt that is bringing down the bauxite from up in the red forest up there. Yeah. Let me show you how I've routed these belts. The fuel rods will be coming up here along this belt, and this splitter. Let me try to land over here without dying. There we go. This splitter will split half that way and half this way. That way is going to go up a conveyor belt to a second floor, which is going to be a little above this level. I want to leave a little room. But then this half should come this way over to there. This will split it left and right. This one then splits it front and back. And then it's the lower belt here, which goes all the way down here to the final two-way split here, which is another like left and right split. This is the first three-way splitter. And that one is as well, of course. And then it splits one here. This is also a three-way splitter, so this splits into here, down to there, and down to here. See? And then from this three-way splitter, we do the same thing again down there. So there's 9 in this row. You know, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Yeah, and that's how we get the materials to the power plants. One slight thing is I didn't exactly expect, but there's 2 inputs, and like here on this side, this is the input. The inputs are closer together than you can actually place things normally. Like, I could have this here, I could have this directly in the center, or I could have it like there. So the belt isn't exactly straight. It does a little S, but it's acceptable. It's not causing a problem. What is causing sort of a problem is, like, I had set it up for this side, so it was almost lined up with this side, not realizing that on this side it would be almost lined up with the output, because this produces nuclear waste. Luckily, the belt could do a tighter S-bend, and this belt could go up for removing the nuclear waste, and that's all good. The nuclear waste all just goes into this middle upper belt and goes on its way. We just need to evenly split the fuel rods going in. We can just merge everything coming out, because that's all going to go into a storage container. I'm doing these all with the Mark IV belts because, hey, I just have a lot of the industrial beams that make them, and they're quick. You know, the end I have a normal belt, but hey, yeah, these, you know, we're going to be putting 1 every 5 minutes in, or thereabouts, so the very end doesn't matter, but I wanted to get the items quickly to the actual power plants, because I don't want them like just sitting on the belts here. I probably could have done Mark V belts, but I don't have quite as many of the aluminum plates for that yet. So the Mark IV was plenty fast. It's, you know, 480 a minute, and we're doing, like, is it 28 a minute? Whatever. So the nuclear waste, though, I realized probably does need a 480 belt, or close to that, due to the fact that I believe these output 25 nuclear waste per fuel rod, which would be 5 a minute, and 5 a minute times 144 gets, yeah. Cool. Basically, I'm going to need a Mark V at the end of this, but for 1/4 of it, the Mark IV is plenty. So the waste will just come out here, and it will merge into a central waste belt. Right now it stops here, and yeah, this other side over here is exactly a copy. Well, not I mean, I tried my best to make it an exact copy. Really, having a copy tool in the game would really help, because I now need to exactly copy all of this, rotate it around, put it this way, and then I make a second floor that's another exact duplicate of all of this. So, yeah, this took a few hours to put together, and I'm only a quarter done. So, I'm going to get back to work building this side now, and I'm hoping it will fit, because we got a cliff wall over there, and I mean, it looks far, but so did the cliff wall over there. A group of 3 is taking me about 14 plates, so yeah, it's gonna be 42 plates or so to fit another copy of this, plus like one for this center line. So yeah. So I will be back when I finish the other half of this floor, and that's still only going to be half the build. So I'll see you in a bit. Well, last time, the factory, or power plant, whatever you want to call it, looked kind of like this. And now it looks like this. Yeah, it's been another few hours, a bit of work. Platform does fit. You can actually see I kind of made an angled leg. There's actually, I could probably easily fit another nuclear power plant before running into the cliff, but yeah, we have now 72 here. And it's all symmetric, or nearly symmetric. Down here, as I explained last time, the fuel rods will come up here. Half will get split and go up to a second floor, which I have yet to build. The other half will come down here beneath that line that you see. There's a second line under there, but it goes down to here, gets split left and right. These split it forward and back. Then, we do all the even splitting. Yeah, then the waste comes back, and that's just all merged into this top line here. This will be coming from the floor above the waste. That gets merged in as well. And that goes down here. And I've actually kind of built the waste handling facility. There's a little floor there that actually has 4 industrial containers. You can kind of see the belts. But that will be the immediate storage, let's say. Some will come down the belt, or the conveyor lift, I should say, but it stops there. Then there's another conveyor lift here. There's one that's missing that would go on the backside. It's deleted right now. Basically, I can run this for a while, wait till some waste builds up, and when I want to empty it, I can put in that conveyor lift, and that will then fill up this truck station. Before I let the truck station fill up, though, I would build either a it's the cube, the tractor, or a truck, depending on how much we have. Maybe a truck. But before we fill up the truck, we'd build the truck and program it to do a circle around here. Then we'd let it go. We'd fill it up with just enough fuel. We'd fill it with fuel. This truck supply station doesn't have any fuel of its own, but we'd let it go, in a circle, load, go in a circle, and as it's circling, that's when we'd connect the belt. We'd make sure the truck was completely full, and then we'd delete those squares back there, back here, and it would fall into the abyss, getting rid of our radiation problem, or at least putting it so far down that it won't be a problem, it won't affect anything. So that's the plan of dealing with the waste. But as I said, this is only 72 reactors, and we can supply enough for 140 at full blast, and the way this is designed, we'll have 144. So, yeah, I have another floor to build. And, yeah, that's going to take some time. Interestingly, this is so high up, it doesn't really seem to cast a shadow. I mean, you can kind of see, like, oh, on the wall there's a bit of a shadow, but then it just stops. So, yeah, that's interesting. So, yeah, I will be back. It will probably be quite a few hours for me. I do have all the, well, you can see right now it shows like 0 modular frame, or heavy modular frame, 0 supercomputers, 0 high-speed connectors, but they're all in these little containers I have all the way out here. What I don't have complete of right now is the concrete and the cable. The cable I can make by hand. I have lots of wire production here. It doesn't take too long to make the cable. And I am producing cement here. I just haven't gathered it all yet. Although I do have quite a bit of cement, probably 2,000 or 3,000 in those chests over there as well. But 3,000 is maybe 2/3 of 1/2. Yeah, so it's gonna take quite a bit more material. But yeah, all the hard things, the supercomputers, the heavy modular frames, the high-speed connectors, they're all produced. I actually made a few runs over to my second factory where we produce these things very quickly, and was able to gather it all. And I made quite a few runs back to my main factory to get both concrete and the industrial beams for the Mark IV belts that I am using in the majority of this, although this belt down the middle with returning the waste is a Mark V, and also it's a Mark V going all the way over here throughout those containers and down, just because we're going to need that rate of transfer, I believe. So, yeah. This will probably take me another day to get this next floor on. But I'll be back when that's done, and we should be ready to fire this place up then. So, for you, it'll just be a moment, but it'll be quite a bit of work. So I'll see you in a bit. One eternity later. And we finally have this built. This took forever. We got 2 floors, 72 nuclear power plants per floor. And it took quite a time to build and set up. They're actually taller than I expected. They're taller than a full belt lift. If I come down here, you can see there's quite a bit of room above before I was allowed to build the next level of plates. And not sure if I showed this last time that well. But yeah, the fuel cells are going to be coming up here. They come down the middle. They split again. They'll come down here. Down to here. They'll split there. Then they'll split 3 ways to the back 3, the front 3, and the middle 3. And like then this splits 3. 1, 2, and 3. And then the waste just all merges back together, and we'll come here. This is a Mark V belt, and then the waste goes down and over to the small holding area that I showed off earlier. So at this point, I think everything is ready. Yeah, all the trains are moving. Except this one, which is unpowered. This is the nuclear power train. It goes in here to pick up the uranium. I did have another train getting stuck earlier, but it appears to be fine now. So it seems the only thing we have to do is complete the train track here, and that was a scary bit of lag. So let's do that. Where can I... yeah, show right here. We are generating 18.5 megawatts. That's with our current oil and a little bit of coal and geothermal. Alright, we're gonna look at the map, and okay, this train is coming back. It should be empty of power, or empty of uranium. It shouldn't have picked any up yet. Let's see, yeah, it comes up around here, then up this way, and we should see it, and then it goes to this station right here behind us. You'll be coming under those trees any moment now. Here it comes. Yeah, and we can see it is empty. I kind of stopped it in the middle of its first trip, so I bet it's resetting. And its first station is the one right back there. The next time it comes this way, we will likely need a radiation suit. Come on, that's the not steep part. You should be able to make that fine. Turn, pull in. Alright, now you're heading out, and I am running low on jetpack. And in fact, I should probably swap this jetpack out for a radiation suit and just use the ramps here. Everything here should be in place. It's actually one floor down where the uranium comes in first here to make the uranium fuel cells. It will be on this middle belt. Alright, the locomotive is about to pull in. You know what, let me, make a quick save here, just in case things go wrong. I'll know exactly which one it is. Alright. We can watch all the trains bringing back materials. Unfortunately, they don't keep their names. They think that's fixed on the experimental branch. This is my PAX train, so that's fine. Here comes the uranium train. This is the quartz and sulfur train. That could be one of 3 trains. I'm not sure whether it's the deuterium or coal or rubber, iron, and copper. Alright, we have 27 filters. That hopefully will be enough. Alright, the train will be... Yeah, I shouldn't have done that. I forgot I don't have my jetpack on. Here it comes. I'm gonna move in here. Okay, yeah, that is quite radioactive. Alright, it has unloaded and is going for another load. We should be... We should be getting things here. Unless I had this set up wrong, which I did. Wonder if I can get you to turn around quicker. Well, I'm not gonna do that. I was thinking of disconnecting the power and reconnecting it, but it's almost there. It will turn around in just a minute. Alright, it's coming back. We'll move back here. Alright. Train is approaching. I can tell by the increasing radiation. Alright, and it's about to park and unload. Any moment now. I said any moment now. Oh, and here we go. Look at that. Alright, that looks kind of low level. That shouldn't be too bad. It's going to build up in these machines, though, and that's going to be... It's not going to be an issue, but that's where we're going to get the most of our radiation from. Now, these machines are all hooked up with the overflow method. Did we already get some all the way down here? That's amazing if that's... Actually, looks like we have. Okay, it's probably one piece because it just happened to get through them all. Looks like we do have some machines running, though. The yellow lights are no longer blinking. See, our radiation is going up. Still in the manageable levels. How's the train? The train is coming back for a second. Okay, these take a full 2 minutes. So yeah. We still have plenty of uranium coming by there. Alright, forgot that these took so long, but almost there. Probably another 30 seconds or so. And yeah, this will output 35 of these cells. And they'll go up to the next floor where we'll follow them. I'm not sure, but I believe these cells work out to be less radioactive than the uranium, because we've now, encased uranium with silica and sulfur and stuff. Okay, here we go. And yeah, these now get sped along because, well, we're expecting something like 400 of them a minute. And yeah, here comes some more from this side. And I think we're getting some saving lag. Alright. So these are coming up here and are being split both ways. That is perfect. And they'll be going into these machines here, which take 5 minutes after they get 50 of them. You may see a bit of a time lapse here. I'm going to watch this machine here, because all the output gets diverted around and passes by here. So, I'll be back in a bit. Okay, this should be finishing momentarily. In fact, there it goes. And here we go with our first 3 fuel rods. And gonna have some trouble following them, but let's try to do our best here. They exited out there. And went this way. At least one went this way, at least one went up to the floor above. Alright, here comes some more. Let's see if we can follow these. Right, we got 2 going this way. That should mean 1 should go to either side. Alright, let's follow this one. Now, everybody should be getting split evenly, but, you know, of course... Oh, yeah, right into here. And look at that. Our power's already more than doubled, I believe. And this is just gonna keep going up. If I've done the calculations properly, each of these does 2.5 gigawatts or 2,500 megawatts of power, and I can run 140 of them at the same time at full blast, and that will give us 350 gigawatts of power, which should be much more than we'll ever need. In fact, the radiation here is non-existent. I was expecting some when these were running, But I guess it doesn't count as having a fuel if it only has one. And, well, the problem is, well, not the problem. These should only always have one, except that that would only be true if they were being used at 100% capacity. Here, like, we're already up to 7,800. Look at that. Oh, yeah, don't have a jetpack on. These will eventually start being overstocked with fuel rods. Like, probably this one is. Oh, no, I'm just over the part of the factory that's actually making the fuel rods, or getting close to the part of the factory that's making the fuel rods. So there's kind of two things I want to do at this point before wrapping the episode up. We're not at full power yet. Ooh, hey, that's a good way of seeing which ones are running. You also see how much space I had to leave. Let's do the one thing first. Hopefully I will survive this. Okay, the radiation wasn't too bad. In fact, now it's nothing. This is actually a good... I want to see how far the radiation comes down, and so which floor is this? This is... well, it's hard to tell. Alright, don't jump, don't go high-speed connectors. Alright, this is the floor where we're making the circuit boards. And right now this is radiation free, so that's pretty good. I'm sure the radiation will get a bit stronger, but it looks like the ground down here should be safe. I definitely want the trains, to not get affected by the radiation. And I'm pretty sure they won't be. The next is, I really haven't seen this from a distance yet, so let's head back to our main base and take a look. That's kind of impressive, yeah. Let's head to the roof. And yeah, the power keeps going up. Looks like we're getting close to about half power. Well, kind of does block the view of the waterfall. But that's pretty impressive looking. And one last thing. I'm gonna load up this save in that interactive map and see where the radiation is. Well, here's what this looks like in the map, and hard to see, but there's some radiation around. This is the train station, and there's some here where the miner is, but this isn't showing any or much anywhere else, not that I can tell. So maybe it only calculates it from storage, and you can see, okay, here's the train, or the freight platform is all full. So, yeah, that's gonna wrap up this episode of Satisfactory. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.